I believe very strongly the deterrent not to do bad thing, bad karma or any sin, these deterrents cannot be external, cannot be from scriptures, because people easily forget all these things and they end up just getting pushed and kicked into the rages and the urges which arise in the mind. They end up doing the stuff which they never wanted to do. So that's why when you do anything unethical, irreligious, illegal, immoral, you will regret. And you will have a huge fear stone lying in your mind. And that's the one of the reason that those who are in crime world, very soon they end up being an alcoholics, because it is the only liquor which numbs their brain, which puts them into such a stupor that they won't think about what they did. So the active thinking of the mind is put to a stop. So one thing common with all the criminals is that they will use some kind of alcohol or some kind of intoxicant, because that's the only way to have a good sleep. Otherwise, how will they sleep? The sense of wrong and right, if is not there, then maybe this won't apply on such people, but then such people are no more humans, they are more like animals. They had a urge to kill someone, they killed. They had urge to steal, they did the theft. They had the urge to loot somebody, they looted. They had urge to rape a woman, they raped. And if they are acting just on their urges, which are coming so strong like a tsunami, and they are not even thinking even once what will be the consequence, then I don't consider them as humans. Then they are just animals. So if the law of the jungle says that if a tiger kills a deer, then the tiger won't be prosecuted. But why did you kill the deer? Or a lion kills a wolf. Nobody is going to arrest a lion that you have done something wrong. So by section 302, you will be penalized. But if a human does this, then sure, our police will arrest the person and the case will be registered and will be taken to the courts for due punishment. Why do we have courts? Why do we have police system? Why do we have army? Because that's the only deterrent from stopping people from doing the nasty things. See, I think so. Just last year in France, there was this rioting which happened. Whole Paris was burning. So many buildings were burnt. So many shops were looted. And people were taking away the television sets and running in the streets, and they are carrying the refrigerators from the shops, and they're looting the jewelry and clothes. And it seemed like, is it France? How come? Such a sophisticated country of elite sensibilities and connoisseurs are there. And how come they're behaving like that? This happened in US. Rioting happened, people just broke the gates of the mall and all the stuff was stolen, from jewelry to electronics to clothes to shoes to food. How come America is such a developed country and nobody can, it was not a poor country or an underdeveloped country. It's a very modern, developed, and such a strong country. And yet, when the rioting happened, the humans were behaving like petty criminals. So, this means the tendency of crime is there in all humans because the greed, the lust, the urges are there. The biggest crime in the name of, in the wars or in a war torn zone, which happens is most of the time on the women. Women are getting raped by the army. Now, how can any army person of any country do this heinous crime? But again, wars in these unruly times, all the gates are opened. There is no scale of morality, and there is nobody who is going to check. There is no accountability. Hence, the rapes are happening, loots are happening, murders are happening. What whatever was illegal, immoral, is being conducted, is being committed by all these so-called citizens of sane countries. So very soon, every government will try to put a brake on this writing. So shoot out order or this or that. They will use all the ploys to bring a stop to this writing, because writing all those so-called good religious people, they are behaving like animals. Where did that sense of religion go away? I'm going to name or shame any one particular religion. I'm saying all those people who seem to be very religious, oh, they do all irreligious stuff in the name of riot, in the name of war. So I always say this, that's the truth of humanity. They seem to be very sensible and disciplined and controlled and religious. Give them a chance and see how the havoc will be loosened up, and so much of destruction is going to happen. So, to stop the humans to behave in an animal way, every country, every society makes certain rules and laws, right? So, the fear of punishment is the biggest deterrent. Fear of hell is another biggest deterrent. That if you do these sins, if you do these things, then you will end up in a hell. So, no, no, I don't want to go to hell. So, don't do this. The Ten Commandments are very famous. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not speak a lie. And more or less, most of the religions are talking about similar 10 or maybe 20 or maybe 50 commandments. But the real deterrent can only be your own conscience. But the conscience is something which needs to be nurtured and cultivated. If that has not been done, well, the person will never have sense of right or wrong. They will never do. They cannot be expected to be truthful. Cannot be at all. So why fear comes in the mind? When we break the rules, not necessarily of law, but sometimes laws of humanity. Like, I was reading this news a few months ago. In a building, the lady's dog was missing, so she was putting these posters everywhere that if anybody sees a beautiful Pomerian dog, please tell me this. So her phone number is there, and a reward of 1 lakh rupees is there. And she was pasting it everywhere, everywhere. And she ends up being in the street corner, and somebody saw, and he said, "Ma'am, this dog is no more alive." So, how come? How can you say that? He said, last night, this dog who just wandered out of the building gate, a man caught this dog, took to this shop, they butchered the dog, cooked his meat, and they ate it. So, you won't find your dog. Dog has been butchered. It was such a horrific thing for her that her dearest pet is not missing. Not another human being has taken to play or maybe sell it to some another customer. The dog was killed, cut into pieces, cooked in a pot, and a bunch of boys ate that dog. Well, if you can eat a chicken or a mutton, why can't you eat a dog? Well, sure. Meat is a meat. What's the difference? Who will teach people? Don't do this. Right? If somebody is not going to teach, they will never have this kind of compassion. Oh, no way. Can't be. So every society, every culture, every country makes this list of rules. Don't break these rules. Abide by these rules. That is to have a peaceful society and everybody can live with honor and respect and dignity. Some rules are laid by Shastra. The scripture says, I always say Bhagavad Gita chapter 16 is the best to know what you should do and what you should not do. But it's not like commandments, it has a very strong psychological reasoning that why it is saying that you should have truth in your life. Because if you will not have truth in your heart, mind, and action, then your mind will be darkened with the burden of fear, an unexplained fear. And then you will have anxiety because a liar will always fear that, oh, I will get caught someday. Oh, I will get caught. Because the problem of a liar is that liar forgets his or her trail. You just forget the line which they have said. They just forget. So that's why they get caught easily. So scripture says, be truthful. Satyam, samshuddhi, have a pure mind. Why? Ultimately, you have to live with your own mind. If you have too much of lies and deceit in your mind, what would happen? Your sleep is gone. You will end up having sedatives and the sleeping pills or some alcohol or something, because the natural sleep will escape you. So when Sri Krishna says, be truthful, be pure, be clean, it's not a social rule what he is giving. He is saying this is to keep your sanity. You will have a good mind. You will have a pure mind. You will have a sanity in you, and you will not be diseased with the psychological ailments. Any fear, if anybody has it, it's there is a chain of events which must have happened with that person, which has caused the fear in the mind. Like in the childhood, it's one of the most entertaining thing is, and that's to tell one another horror stories. Well, it used to be in my childhood. So bunch of we kids are sitting and one of them would, okay, like horror story, this happened and a witch came and she had this very scary eyes and she had long nails and dark skin and she would make such a weirdo sounds and she caught that child and then scrunched his neck and the blood came out and we are all listening and we are getting scared and a point will come, stop it, don't tell us this story. So all kids would just go back home and now that story is there in the mind. And here you are walking and the moment one of my friend, she opened the door of her house, the light was a bit dim and she opened the door and there she saw this long hair twirling, and she was so scared she screamed out so loud and a hand came up and the hair was pulled up. It was her great aunt. She had just washed her hair and the Indian ladies, I don't know why, but they'll put the head downward, let all the hair fall down, and they will rub it with the towel and then back comb the hair. So she had just back combed the hair, and the wind was blowing, and the bit darkness was there, and light was not too much. And the door opens, and there it is, and she screamed like crazy and went back to the street. Bhoot, bhoot, bhoot. And then the grand aunt was running after her and calling her name. Come back, it's me, it's your granny, it's your aunt. Don't run away. Don't be scared. But that's what happens. So going to the bedroom becomes scary. Switching off light becomes scary. So the children room will always have a small bulb which they don't want anybody to put it off, because the moment the darkness is there, the witch is going to come under the bed. You open the window and there she is. You open a cupboard and she's just going to scream at you and gorge your eyes out. So all these stories. So children are getting scared. But there is a kick coming. So next evening again we all said, so no, tell another story. So you're listening to these fearful stories, creating those imagery in your mind, and then getting scared yourself. And then there are people, the grown ups sometimes, they use this as a ploy to discipline the children. They say, drink your milk, otherwise the witch will come and suck your blood out. So the child gets scared and quickly finishes the milk. No, 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 no witch coming to my room. No witch coming. Okay, now you drank the milk, fine. I will tell her not to come. Do your homework, the witch will come. This is inculcating the fear in the mind. But just imagine the people who are living in the villages, and if nobody is talking such horror stories, they walk, they run in the fields from their homes in the night to water their fields. Nobody is scared. So fear is created, cultivated, nurtured. Sometimes because of the external influences. And sometimes, again, because you have done something which you don't want anybody to know, that will create fear.